Dear friends and faithful believers, with hearts brimming with hope, gratitude, and unwavering faith, we warmly welcome each of you who have gathered here today on this channel. May the eternal peace, love, and grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you now and always, guiding and protecting you in all your endeavors. Together, let us embrace the strength and comfort that comes from our shared faith as we navigate through these challenging times. Today, our thoughts and prayers are with those in Florida, where 7 tornadoes have already been confirmed as rain and strong winds from Hurricane Milton begin to lash the western coast of the state. The situation poses a significant threat to this region, especially the densely populated areas along the Gulf Coast. On October 9th, local time, the U.S. National Weather Service in Miami confirmed that these tornadoes had struck Florida just before Hurricane Milton made landfall, with reports of damage to structures in Lakeport as the tornadoes swept through. In a related development, Hurricane Milton has begun to unleash relentless torrents of rain and violent gusts of wind as it barrels toward Tampa Bay, home to over 3.3 million people. This region, which hasn't faced a direct hit from a major hurricane since 1921, is now bracing for impact from one of the most dangerous storms in recent memory. The U.S. National Hurricane Center reports that the eye of the storm is currently positioned about 155 kilometers southwest of Tampa, with sustained winds howling at an alarming 205 kilometers per hour. While Milton was briefly downgraded to a Category 3 storm, it has since intensified again into a Category 5 monster, the highest level on the U.S. hurricane scale. Its incredible power, marked by devastating winds and storm surges, now poses a significant risk to millions of lives and homes along Florida's western coastline. Experts are gravely concerned about the potential for catastrophic storm surges, which could bring towering waves as high as 16 feet, enough to submerge low-lying areas around Tampa Bay. Authorities have issued urgent evacuation orders, warning residents to flee inland immediately or face life-threatening conditions. These storm surges are expected to inundate vast coastal areas, creating floodwaters capable of causing unparalleled destruction. Damage estimates are already soaring into the hundreds of billions of dollars, a reflection of the sheer scale of what Milton could unleash. Only 2 weeks ago, the region narrowly escaped a direct hit from Hurricane Helene, which struck the southeastern United States. Though Tampa Bay was spared from the worst of Helene's wrath, the storm's surge still caused widespread flooding, damaging homes and leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Now, with Milton's arrival, the threat level has surged again, and residents are under immense pressure to prepare for the worst. The National Guard has been deployed to assist with evacuations, and emergency services are on high alert, but officials fear that many may not have enough time to fully evacuate. The message is clear: swift action is not just necessary, it's a matter of life and death. As Hurricane Milton continues to approach, many are turning to their faith for comfort in this time of crisis. In moments of such uncertainty, the strength of belief in God's protection and guidance becomes ever more vital. For believers, trusting in God's providence provides solace amidst the chaos, knowing that even in the face of nature's fury, God is with them. Churches across the region have opened their doors to those seeking shelter, offering not just physical protection, but spiritual support as well. Congregations are gathering to pray for the safety of their communities, for God's mercy, and for the strength to endure what lies ahead. In the words of the psalmist, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Craig Fugate, former director of the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, stressed the deadly nature of the incoming storm surges, warning that these waves will not behave like ordinary floods. The water doesn't just come in slowly, it surges forward in massive waves, quickly and violently, enough to claim many lives, Fugate cautioned. People could drown, or worse, be crushed by falling trees or collapsing homes as the surge rushes ashore with overwhelming force. He described how storm surges occur when sea levels rise well above normal tide levels, often catching people off guard with their speed and intensity. While not technically classified as tsunamis, storm surges are no less perilous and have the potential to cause significant loss of life and property. Unlike tsunamis, which are triggered by seismic activity such as underwater earthquakes, storm surges are driven by the force of hurricane winds pushing massive amounts of seawater inland. This can result in rapid flooding of coastal areas, with the water sometimes advancing miles into the mainland. The danger from these surges is compounded when they coincide with high tide, amplifying their destructive power. When the surge reaches nearly 5 meters at high tide, combined with waves as high as 3 meters, the situation becomes dire. Entire buildings can be submerged, bridges can be washed away, and the landscape flattened under the weight of the sea's relentless advance. As the people of Florida face yet another devastating storm, there is a growing awareness that human resilience, while powerful, is not invincible. In times like these, the community leans on each other and on their faith, drawing strength from the knowledge that even in the darkest of storms, they are never truly alone. The fury of nature may be fierce, but the faith of those who endure it is stronger still. As the storm draws nearer, residents pray not only for the safety of their families and homes but for the enduring hope that, after the storm, there will be light once again. The National Hurricane Center has warned that Milton has the potential to be one of the most destructive storms on record in western and central Florida. Officials in Pinellas County, which includes major cities such as Clearwater and St. Petersburg, have predicted a deadly storm surge and are urging residents to comply with mandatory evacuation orders. This is going to be like a sea of water coming into your house, warned Kathy Perkins, Pinellas County Emergency Management Director. The water is coming at such a high pressure, you don't think you can fight it. Even Florida's east coast may not be spared from the storm surge, as Milton is expected to sweep across the entire Florida peninsula and maintain its strength as it moves into the Atlantic. As a result, strong winds could continue to push seawater ashore, putting northeastern Florida at risk of flooding with water levels of up to 3 to 5 feet. Storm surge is a constant concern with any storm that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration classifies as a Category 3 or higher. A classic example is Hurricane Katrina in 2005, a Category 5 storm that downgraded to a Category 3 when it hit Louisiana, causing a record storm surge of more than 26 feet. However, observers have shown that even lower intensity storms can cause extremely severe storm surges. In 2008, Category 2 Hurricane Ike hit the Texas Gulf Coast, causing a nearly 16-foot storm surge on Galveston Island, leaving behind severe damage to residents there. Meanwhile, Tampa Mayor Jane Castor issued a strong warning to residents not to stay and face the storm, recalling the lessons of recent Hurricane Helene. If you decide to stay in one of the areas that are being asked to evacuate, you probably won't survive, Castor said, emphasizing the severity of the situation. Hurricanes like Milton are not only natural disasters but also great tests of human resilience. Compliance with evacuation orders and thorough preparation are of utmost importance to minimize human and property damage during this terrible storm. More than 10 coastal counties in the state of Florida have issued mandatory evacuation orders to protect people's lives from the terrible threat of Hurricane Milton. Pinellas County has ordered the evacuation of more than 500,000 people, while Lee County has also ordered about 416,000 people, mainly living in coastal and flood-prone areas, to move to safety. Not only people, but also mobile homes, nursing homes, and medical facilities are subject to evacuation to protect the most vulnerable in society. Florida and local authorities are currently actively cleaning up the remains of Hurricane Helene, in order to remove the remaining debris on the streets, to avoid them becoming missiles that can injure people when Hurricane Milton makes landfall. This situation poses a significant challenge, as the storm has just passed when Hurricane Milton, another superstorm, is approaching. On the morning of October 10th, Milton approached the west coast of Florida, causing tornadoes and attacking the area with heavy rain and strong winds before officially making landfall near Tampa Bay. Although by the afternoon of October 9th, Hurricane Milton had weakened slightly to Category 3, the third level on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale, experts still warn that this is an extremely dangerous storm with maximum sustained winds of up to 195 km/h. The storm is likely to cause storm surges of 2.7 to 4 meters in some areas, and rainfall of 150 to 300 millimeters, even up to 450 millimeters in some places. About 2 million people across Florida have been ordered to evacuate, while millions more remain in the projected path of Hurricane Milton, threatening their lives and property. Notably, this storm comes just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene devastated Florida and many other states, leaving behind massive infrastructure and emotional damage. In the midst of this panic and hardship, many have turned to Jesus as a source of hope and comfort. In the darkest moments, when the power of nature exceeds human capabilities, prayer becomes a bridge to God. The presence of Jesus not only brings peace of mind, but also gives those affected by natural disasters the confidence that they will be protected and guided through this ordeal. Many churches in the area have opened their doors to those seeking shelter, providing not only material assistance but also a place for them to pray and find faith in their dire situation. Jesus taught, "Trust in me, for I am with you in all your troubles." For those facing Hurricane Milton, that teaching is a beacon of light, helping them overcome their fears and maintain their faith in God's love and protection.